Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for WLBT Plus. My name is Kara Shirley, and I'm your digital news desk host. It is Tuesday, January the 7th, moving into a very cold start of the new year. It's actually crazy. We're closer to the middle of the month now than we are to the first of it, but it's going to be a good month, regardless of the cold weather. I hope you are all prepared for the cold weather. I hope you have nice warm jackets on, gloves. I have neither one of those things, but I'm okay. So it'll be all right. Listen to my advice and don't do what I do. All right. Take the jackets and everything. Well, if you are watching on our website or on our mobile app, thank you so much. And if you're tuning in on any of our social streams, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, leave me a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. We do appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate getting to hear from you guys during this interactive newscast as we bring you some updates on stories that have happened. Sometimes we have breaking news situations. A lot of time we cover court cases, court trials, big high-profile court trials here in our area. And we do that right here on WLBT Plus, and we enjoy you guys getting to participate in these newscasts when they happen. So before we jump into the news and the updates that we have, let's go ahead and take a look outside right now over Raymond through our sky cam. And you can see we got a little bit of blue popping through the clouds, but there are some clouds in the sky. Let's look now over downtown Jackson. And of course, you can go to our website and look at all of our sky cameras there. Jackson, so we've got some blue coming through right in this area, but still for the most part, cloudy skies. And definitely for the most part, cold temperatures, especially when we're going down into the overnight hours. I'm going to give you a brief look at your forecast in just a little bit, but at 2:30 today, our First Alert weather team will be in here and they will be able to give you a complete detailed look at your forecast. So we got Frederick Alexander here tuning in from Canton. Thank you so much, Frederick, for watching. We do appreciate it. Anybody else watching, let me know where you're tuning in from. Let's go ahead, jump into the news. First thing we have to talk about today is a deadly police pursuit that happened in North Mississippi in Marshall County. And unfortunately, as a result of that, 2 people have died. So let's see, this happened Saturday in Marshall County. The sheriff's department say that the Byhalia police were pursuing a SUV when it crashed into a pickup truck at an intersection. The truck did unfortunately burst into flames, and a passenger in the truck and the driver of the fleeing SUV were killed. 2 other people were injured and taken to the hospital. There's no word now on their status. status. Then back here in Jackson, a teenager has now been arrested for an attempted carjacking at a gas station. So it happened on the 29th of December at J&A Fuel on Medgar Evers Boulevard. The 17-year-old is being charged with armed carjacking and aggravated assault. He was denied bond yesterday in the Jackson Municipal Court. So you got more people tuning in. Donald is watching from West Jackson. Stephen saying staying warm live from Environment Masters. Hello. We have Diane Young in Canton, and then we have Annette tuning in from Jackson, and then Lawrence here's just saying hey to people. Great. Love it. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Oh, here we go. Brandon. Is it Brandy? Oh, that's a cool name. Cool way to spell your name. I've never seen it like that before. She is from Florence watching. Let's talk about a couple of hostages or a hostage situation that happened in Yazoo, where now two hostages are safe, and the suspect is in custody following the standoff at the Yazoo City apartment complex. So deputies were called. Turn this down for you. Deputies were called out to Oak Haven Apartments overnight on Sunday. So according to the Sheriff Jeremy McCoy, two women were freed. Get that back down for you. Two women were freed, but the armed man remained inside of the apartments. The Mississippi Bureau of Investigation and the Highway Patrol, a SWAT team, were called in to assist. The identities of those involved have not been released at this time, nor has any word been given or information been given on what led to this hostage situation. As soon as we do get that information, though, we will pass it along to you for sure. And a judge has dismissed a case in case that happened in Brookhaven, where a father and a son were accused of shooting at a FedEx driver there in Brookhaven. So Brandon Case and his father, Gregory Case, were accused of shooting at DeMontario Gibson while he was driving for FedEx. In August of 2023, which is a little over a year after the reported shooting, a judge declared a mistrial after the lead detective in the case was withholding evidence. Well, yesterday afternoon, Judge David Strong then ended up dropping the case, deciding that the investigator Vincent Fernando intentionally withheld evidence, and so the case was dropped against them. Gibson, who is the man that they allegedly shot at, he says that he is deeply devastated and disheartened by the outcome there. And then if we turn now to North Mississippi, the State Forestry Commission says that a large wildfire was likely started by children shooting fireworks. That's how dangerous fireworks can be. Even when you think, oh, well, it's been rainy, they can be still very dangerous and cause widespread fires like this. So this first alert weather video shows you the fire Sunday night in Tallahatchie County. It burned 124 acres. State foresters believe that it was ignited by kids playing with bottle rockets. How often do we think, oh, bottle rockets are harmless? They're simple. They're safe fireworks. Apparently, not always. They can always be dangerous. So state foresters and local firefighters helped prevented the fire from burning down two homes. So two homes were in jeopardy during this fire, but they were able to stop those homes from being burned down, which is awesome. Thank goodness that they were able to do that. If you go out shooting fireworks, make sure, of course, outside the city limits, not allowed inside city limits, and actually check your local ordinances to see if, what they are. They may only allow fireworks during certain times, regardless of if you're in the city limits or not. So you might want to do that just to be safe. But if you're going to do it anyway, be safe in doing it. Make sure that you have the proper safety precautions, water around, making sure you stay far enough back after lighting it so that you yourself don't get burned or the person lighting them. Just a lot of safety things that you need to take into account when doing fireworks. And we have an update on Thalia Hall, and is saying now that after 5 months, it is set to be reopened next week. So the Mayor Lumumba said the venue will reopen Friday, January the 17th. He says that the majority of the work at Thalia is almost complete, with the HVAC cleaning and encapsulation process at 90%. So this news comes after Thalia manager, Angie Ladner, resigned last November. The facility, of course, closed in August of last year after mold was discovered. Hopefully, we will see it opening next Friday. That would be awesome. Uh, Britt is tuning in from Kosciuszko. Hello, Britt. And Miss Catherine Brown tuning in again from San Diego. Thank you so much, Miss Catherine. A long ways away. I hope it's a little warmer in San Diego than the temperatures that we are experiencing right now here in Mississippi. Actually, the South all over. So these are not normal temperatures for us, that's for sure. Well, yesterday, the newest justices on the Mississippi Supreme Court were sworn into office. Jennifer Branning, who we had here on WLBT Plus. We also had the then incumbent Jim Kitchens on, spoke with both of them right before the runoff election between those two races. But Jennifer Branning did end up taking the win there, and she and David Sullivan took the oath of office yesterday, along with incumbent justices Josiah Coleman, James Maxwell, and Robert Chamberlain. The oath was administered by Chief Justice Mike Randolph. Branning defeated, of course, Justice Jim Kitchens in that runoff election for the Central District. Governor Tate Reeves was present in the ceremony and stressed the importance of their roles on the state's highest court.
This court is a special body, and the role that you play here on the Mississippi Supreme Court and the role that y'all play on the Court of Appeals is integral to our success as a state.
So Justice Branning is the fifth woman to serve on the Mississippi Supreme Court. And of course, they will be hearing cases that you may be aware of, probably are aware of, the cases that we're following here. We know that Beth Ann White, her trial is being appealed to the Supreme Court. Carly Gregg's sentencing is being appealed to the Supreme Court. Her whole murder trial is being appealed, as well as many others. That's just the two that come off to the top of my head right now. But there are lots of cases, lots of criminal cases that they're going to be looking over, that we're anxiously awaiting an answer from them on whether or not these cases can be retried, or if not, they're not going to hear it. So we'll learn and let you guys know what they decide when they make decisions on those cases or any other cases that they are being seen or that they are seeing. We also heard over the weekend and got confirmation from her yesterday that the current president of the Jackson City Council will not be running for re-election. That's right. So Virgie Lindsay was first elected to the council in 2017, and she replaced longtime Ward 7 councilwoman Margaret Barrett Simone. So since taking office, Lindsay has served as the council president multiple times. She's also a former executive director of the Greater Bellhaven Neighborhood Foundation. So far, 3 incumbent council winners have announced their plan to run for re-election. And then also here in Jackson, the mayor of Jackson did say yesterday in a press conference that he is still planning to run for re-election as the mayor of Jackson. He reiterated his intention to seek a third term yesterday at his weekly press briefing. He now is in the process of facing 5 indictments in the Jackson bribery scheme, but he remains defiant, saying that he is not guilty. He was first elected for mayor in 2017 and then again in 2021. So we will watch and see how this works out, how How many people are we going to have sign up to run for mayor of Jackson? And will Lumumba actually qualify? Will he actually sign up to run again? And will he come out victorious on the other end of the mayor's run? We are definitely watching all of that, including the bribery scheme information. We'll continue to update you on all of those stories. So the House Speaker legislative session, they're back in session today. They're gathering for the 2025 legislative session. Mississippi lawmakers are getting back to work inside the state capitol. Members plan to reconvene today at noon, which they did. That's according to House Speaker Jason White. Many are hopeful that they will have a productive off season, or that many are hopeful thanks to a productive off season. Let's put it that way. So just as we've mentioned before, tax reform, health care, and education are some of the big three umbrella issues that they would like to see attacked. Some of that work has already started through the select committees that met in the off season. White wants to see the income tax completely phased out, and he'd like the grocery tax to be cut in half. He also expects to see a legislation filed in the House again to restore a form of the ballot initiative.
When I'm at home pumping gas or in the grocery store or at the courthouse, they say, when are you going to restore a ballot initiative? And so I think that's why you keep seeing the House react and pass it. And again, that kind of cuts across party lines. And now certainly, you're going to continue to probably see some things that are hands off in that. But, it does take votes to pass legislation around here.
So you can expect to see another attempt at expanding Medicaid, but Speaker White says those conversations will be shaped by what's happening with the Trump administration, and that could delay some of those efforts initially. White says a ballot initiative and voting rights restorations will also come out of the House this session. Again, the legislature is set to reconvene for their annual meeting today at noon, and we will, of course, keep you updated on any impacts or changes, new developments from the state capitol with Courtney and Jackson. Well, before we take a quick look at your forecast, let's take a quick listen to a word from our sponsor, Jxn Water.
Hey, Jackson, curious about our water system? Join the Jxn Water Academy to get the inside scoop on our water and sewer operations. 3 sessions, 3 months, and a whole lot of hands-on know-how. You'll even get a behind-the-scenes tour of the O.B. Curtis Water Treatment Plant. So if you're ready to dive in, head to jacksonwater.com/Water Academy or give us a ring at 601-500-5200 to apply. But hurry, spots are going fast.
Thank you again, Jxn Water, for sponsoring a WLBT Plus and allowing us to bring you this show every day, every weekday at 1 o'clock. Well, let's talk weather real quick, and then actually we're going to move into giving you some tips on how to stay warm during these cold temperatures and places that you can go if your home is not warm enough for you. So our current temperatures outside, if we look at those, we are cold, all right? Very cold. Looking at 35 here in Jackson. Monticello is the warmest place on the map with a temperature of 40 degrees, 34 in Vicksburg and Yazoo City. If we look at our radar, we know we've got some clouds in the area, but we're not expecting any rain, thankfully, just cloudy conditions out there. And you can see there on the radar, there is no rain in our area. If we look over the next 12 hours, you can see we're going to drop down to as low as the mid-20s tonight, and with the wind chill blowing, or with the wind blowing, that feels like temperature is going to be a lot lower than that 29. So you need to make sure you're prepared for that. Now, if we look over the next 7 days, you see that on Thursday and Friday, yeah, we could be getting some snow flurries, some freezing rain. There is a chance for a wintry mixed precipitation on Thursday and Friday. The best way for you to get the accurate info on that, though, is to be back here at 2:30 when our First Alert weather team is here, and they're going to be able to break it all down for you, let you know exactly what to expect and the timing out of it. Well, Jackson City leaders have a plan to help keep those warm, those who are in need, warm and out of the cold. So directors at Shepherd's Gym say they're afraid that they may actually reach capacity. It's supported by the Shower Power organization. During a press conference on Monday, the Mayor Lumumba announced that the shelters are now opening their doors. Since then, they've seen an influx of people checking in, and although there is a plan in place, Marianne Kirby with Shower Power, they are afraid of running out of space there at Shepherd's Gym.
Frankly, there's just not enough space for the people that need help when they need it. So we're very concerned about that, hoping that maybe somehow this will help initiate change, but we're full.
Will be malleable enough, depending on the circumstance, to see if additional shelters need to be open. I don't know. I hadn't identified whether the training academy is available, but depending on the response.
So the shelters mentioned will remain open throughout the rest of the week. So if you are in Jackson and you need a place to go to stay warm, there is one option for you. Now, there's some things you want to remember when cold weather comes in, and they call it the 4 Ps: plants, pipes, pets, and people. And they're all going to need protection from these chilly temperatures as they continue to drop across our area. So many out there are prepping for the cold, wrapping pipes, tarping shelters, and heating coops. Well, Pine Hills Nursery has some last minute tips on how you can help keep everything safe and warm, especially when you're talking plants.
Yes, if you can bring the plant indoors, we do recommend doing that because you can control the environment and it is much warmer. If it's something permanent that you can't bring in, then we recommend covering with a soft layer like a blanket or sheet, and then plastic or tarp over that. And then once the temperatures are above freezing the next day, you can go ahead and remove that. You don't want to leave it covered for several days in a row. You want to uncover it and cover it again if you have to.
So the Mississippi Emergency Management Agency does agree with that, saying cover your plants, bring them inside when you can. And then once again, cover exposed pipes, bring pets inside too, and check on vulnerable friends or family members and neighbors. Make sure that everyone out there has a way to stay warm. Stephen Blackwell here, and first he says Fred Shanks is running for Brandon Mayor. He certainly is. We announced that the other day. Stephen's also saying, please cover your outside faucets and drip your faucets at nighttime. And that is very, very true. Dripping your faucets is a great way to help keep your pipes from freezing up, but you don't want to turn it on too much because then if everybody has the water running too much, then it could be bad. It could help deplete the water supply in the city or in the counties in your area. So you just want to make sure you have it dripping just enough to where it's not going to freeze up, but you don't want to cause issues for the water system either. And of course, fire safety is always a concern in this cold weather. People using space heaters, maybe in the incorrect way, too close to the walls or too close to not fire. I'm getting the wrong word coming out. I can't talk. But safety around space heaters is very, very important. So fire officials are saying that if you are going to use a fireplace, be sure to clean everything properly before using it. Make sure to not burn a lot of wood. And if you are using a fireplace, make sure a safety case is in front of the flames or safety gate to help block any pops-offs or anything like that. Also, make sure your space heaters have enough space and that there's nothing around them when they're being used. And the Harrison County Fire Chief says that it's important to also check your smoke detectors, very important right now, to see if they work. And you might want to also go ahead and check your carbon monoxide heaters at the same time, or carbon monoxide detectors rather, at the same time.
The primary thing here is make sure that you have working smoke detectors. We recently had a fire where an individual was alerted to the fire, and it was a heater fire. Was alerted to the fire due to the smoke detector, and they were able to call the fire department in the early stages of the fire. It was still a significant fire, but that person was able to get out alive because the early warning from the smoke alarm. So we always recommend that people have working smoke alarm, smoke detectors in their home.
Very important. Fire chief also says to make sure if you're using your gas equipment properly. If you smell gas, don't start any type of light source. Just go ahead and call 911 immediately. You should not be smelling gas in your home. So if you do smell it, please call 911 immediately. Because that is going to be the end of WLBT Plus today. Make sure you're back here at 2:30 to hear from the First Alert Weather Team. Get that in-depth look at your forecast and what you can expect with these colder temperatures and the possibility of some freezing rain or, dare I say, snow in our future. But that's at 2:30 today back here at WLBT Plus. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I'll be back tomorrow at 1 and I will see you then. Bye.